teachers, and dear children, good morning. It's a great pleasure for me to be here with you today to celebrate what is one of the most important days on the school calendar. I know it's a day that we all look forward to as students, as teachers, and as parents. Today marks the culmination of our efforts for a great school year. And thank you very much for the kind invitation, Mrs. Khan, to be here today and to celebrate today with your school. Children, I know that today, for those of you who will be getting prizes, it's a day to mark the hard work that you've put in to a great school year. Today marks the efforts of not only your efforts in school, but the efforts of your parents, the caregivers, and teachers, and maybe grandparents as well, aunties and uncles, who have contributed to your schoolwork during the year. It's a day of celebration, it's a day of thanks. Thanks to the Almighty for giving us the intelligence, the wisdom to sustain a school year to the end. For the children who may not be getting a prize today, don't feel disheartened. There's always next year. You would heard that over the past years, we've heard as parents been saddened by news of children who have committed suicide just because they didn't pass an exam. Don't let that be you. Today is just another year. You will meet another year next year. Try harder so that come next year, you'll be sitting out front waiting to receive an award. Children, you're the most precious things in your parents' lives. I have children of my own, you've heard. I've got 3 children. And to make an exam that important, some children have placed the exam over and above their own lives. Yeah? Exams are important, but not that important. They're not more important than your lives. Your lives are more precious to us as parents. If you ask your mom or your dad today, what's more important, passing an exam or me being alive? Not a single parent will tell you passing your exam is more important. Your lives are very important to us. Which brings me to the topic of how important education is to us as parents, to the teachers that have taught you during the year, and also to government. You would know that government has invested so much in the education of our children. Free education, free bus fare to school. As parents, I grew up in an age where my parents had to pay for my education, had to pay for my bus fare. I grew up in a family where I had to bring in my schoolmates because I lived near to the school. My schoolmates came to live with us because they live far and their parents couldn't afford to pay school fares. And that payment of school fares every day made a difference in children's lives. Children were dropping out of school because their parents couldn't afford to pay school fares. That's not the case anymore. So it brings to the fore parental responsibility in investing in the lives of our children. Parents nowadays, the obligation to send a child to school has decreased a lot from the days when our parents had to pay for our education. So that means that our role as parents to make sure that our children are going to school every day, that they're spending enough time at home with their books, that role is elevated. It also means that our role as parents to look after our children, particularly when we're looking at a holiday season coming up, to know every minute of the day where our child is, particularly our primary school age children. Every school year we know is marked by our children, small kids who are drowning, who will get run over by cars in front of our own homes. Don't let that be the story of your child in the upcoming school holidays. Watch your children, pay attention what they're doing. Another important topic for us as parents, we've just celebrated Pecan Day, a very important day in our ministerial calendar. prevention of child abuse and neglect. We know, as a ministry, the number of calls we get daily from children complaining about child abuse, about child neglect. Don't let that statistic be your child. Pay attention to what your children are doing during the school holidays. And children, I don't know if any of you are aware of what just happened 2 weeks ago in Bonn, Germany. Yes, we know about what happened in Bonn, Germany? Yes, what's that? COP23, and what's that about? Climate change, climate change. Adults are talking about climate change. You know you can do something about it too, do you? What can you do? Lots of things you can do. Start off at home. Turn off the switch when it's not being used. Turn the power off. Plastic bags. When you go shopping, bring the cloth bags that mom doesn't use hidden in the cupboards. Don't use plastics. There's a lot that we can do as children to help government, help us all alleviate the impact of climate change. And something that I wanted to share with you today about climate change, about COP23 in Bonn, very exciting. 2 children, primary school children, came to Bonn and spoke to all the world leaders at COP23, class 7 students. They spoke, and they spoke very well. And as a parent, as a Fijian, I was very proud of them. And that's what education can do for you, children. It can take you places you've never dreamt about. It can make you realize dreams you've never dreamt about. The important thing is to persevere, to commit, to invest your time in your education while you still have this great opportunity to study at a great school like Deenbhandhoo. And I know you're also in a very good school right now, School Hall of Jan Harain. And I know most of you will be aiming to join this school. Whatever school you join, for those of you who are in Class A and going to new schools next year, make sure that you make the best use of the opportunity that you've been given for education. Last but not least, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you parents, caregivers, for the investment in your children, time-wise, financial-wise, the sleepless nights. Continue that investment, because what we're looking at by investing in your children, you're investing in the future of this country. What our children become tomorrow is what our nation becomes tomorrow. If we grow, if we rear these children to be strong citizens of this country, citizens who are aware of their responsibilities, then we are looking at a Fiji that is aware of its responsibilities. We are looking at a Fiji with very strong leaders who can make decisions that are good for all of us. With those few words, I'd like to thank you all. I'd like to congratulate those awardees who will be receiving prizes today. I'd like to inspire those students who may not be receiving prizes to do better next year and make sure you aspire to be the best of what you can be. Thank you very much. Vuniwaqa.